This is Zaccharie Risacher, and he might be the most polarizing player in this entire draft.
領域展開無料空所
Risacher is polarizing because mainstream NBA draft outlets, primarily ESPN, and someone else did, I think like CBS Sports, they have him at number 1 in this year's class. And this is a disconnect from a lot of the online super nerdy draft freak community, the people who are in their mom's basements watching 18 hours of film a day. That's not me. Not the mom's basement part is true, but not the 18 hours of film. I was busy seeing the Haikyuu movie last night, and then what a disappointment. Why? I don't want to get... Here are the two perspectives, the two conflicting perspectives. So the ESPN side, Jonathan Gavoni, that's who's running Draft Express. His point of view, and I believe Jeremy Wu is the other guy who's there. Their POV is this. Here's their case for Risacher. Super young guy, like 18 years old. When does he turn 19? I don't know. I'll point it out there. Super duper young. Productive in a pro league. When he was playing at his best this year, he's the kind of player that NBA teams want. He's a big 6'9" wing in shoes, 6'10" wingspan, so not spectacular wingspan, but just for a guy who's going to be playing the 3 or the 4, that's decent. He's the prototype of a big wing you want in the NBA. Big, young, productive, shoots threes, plays defense, simple. And then in a class like this year's class where not a lot of high-end star talent, star potential, I guess they're just saying, hey, this guy's young, he's already really good, maybe he could get even better in the future. And so when you stack him up compared to like Alex Sarn, compared to some other guys like Reed Shepard or Donovan Clingan, I guess you could see the case from their perspective. Like Alex Sarn, they're like, well, he was more of a bench piece in a pro league, in a league that's probably worse. Is the NBL worse than the LNB? I don't even know. And like Clingan, it's like, oh, he's not playing minutes, or he's not even playing full-time minutes, free throw concerns, whatever, so could be some translation issues. In their mind, they're like, drop Risacher into an NBA game right now, and he'll make an impact. And that is what he's doing in the LNB playoffs. So yeah, that's their point of view. Point of view from the other side of the spectrum is, hey, this is a guy who cannot create his own shot.
Seven and 2 at home at their temporary base in Riga. They're only 3 and 6 on the road. That's how big a difference it makes. By Salash. Risacher 0 of 4 from the field so far in turn.
Here he is with the rock, sizing up Kellen Grady.
Popovich, nice move, but unsuccessful in scoring.
Risacher gets it up top, driving on Moen Dadze.
Really, like this guy's... A lot of his offense is spot-up shooting. There's some movement shooting. There's some good movement shooting. But a lot of it is spot-up shooting. And so, are you really going to spend the number 1 pick on a guy who's doing a lot of spot-up shooting? A guy who's just like Batum, kind of, which I hate to be Mr. Lazy French wing comparison. Wow, they're both the same guy. But, yeah, they're... people are like, why would you spend a number 1 pick on a guy without self-creation skills, without a lot of self-creation potential? That should not really be the move ever. Another concern over Risacher is, okay, he's a 3-and-D prospect, but how good of a three-point shooter is he actually? Because he's only really shot well this season, and in the middle of the season for like 2 2 months straight, maybe, I don't know, I'll have to check, he was not making threes. He like fell off. So it was like years of not really making threes, like low 30%. Then he gets off super hot to start this season, and then falls off back to earth for a couple months, and then only recently in the playoffs he's been shooting well again for France. So there are some people who are like, ugh, I don't know if I really buy the whole idea of him being an elite shooter. I kind of think this is just a guy who got hot for a little bit. So that'll be another disconnect. And I would imagine like the Draft Express guys, they just buy into the shooting more. So where do I fall on that spectrum? I wouldn't take him number one probably, but if he does go number one, I'm not sure that I'm saying, oh my God, your franchise is ruined. The Atlanta Hawks are in shambles. But I would just be like, Alex Sarr. I would much rather gamble on Alex Sarr. And I can't say with any kind of conviction that Alex Sarr is 100% going to be better than Risacher, but I would lean that way. It's the idea of taking a guy who's just like a stagnant shooter and then a good defense. He's not even like a life-changing defensive player. He's just a good one, a good big wing. Like Patrick Williams. Like if you ended up with Patrick Williams at number one, how like low volume 40% shooter and really good perimeter defense, how do you feel about that? I mean, as a Bulls fan, it's not the worst thing in the world having him on the roster. I think he's a good player. I think and he is supposed to have more self-creation potential. We'll see whatever happens with that. Hopefully something. But yeah, if you're going number one, I would steer away from Risacher, but I do think he is a good player and a good prospect, and I don't think it's crazy to take him really at any spot outside of one. Like the Wizards at 2, I think it's a little bit lackluster. I think it's a little bit why not shoot for the stars? But if their philosophy is, hey, kind of an iffy draft, let's just get a young productive like Koulibaly, let's just get another young French guy, athletic, who can hopefully play a role for us. Let's build out our team, and then hopefully something good will happen. Hopefully we'll get some kind of star here. What does Risacher do well? Well, again, the three-point shooting. I think he's a good movement three-point shooter. I think he's a good spot three-point shooter. I think he's a very smart shooter in the sense that I really like how I'll just show you. When Risacher is off ball, I like his little tiny relocations where he's always moving just slightly to try and position himself to get a pass easier, or to make the pass easier for his teammate. And so he sees his teammate drive baseline here, he's going there, he's like, oh crap, let me go right to the corner so he has an outlet to pass to me. And then boink. It's the same thing again. He's down there and he was walking that way, but then when he saw him drive, goes to the corner. Oh, but then he gets it. Boink. This play, he starts down there, and then his teammate's over there. He's probing. Hey! These kinds of threes don't have the most movement involved. It's like basically just like one little hop into it. But I think they show that he's not just only a spot up shooter, right? Like he can do a little bit of that, yeah. And the release is pretty quick, you know. See, that kind of stuff is cool. But to be fair, a lot of his threes were just simple spot ups. But I mean, hey, you gotta knock them down in the playoffs. A lot of playoff matchups come down to teams or defenses conceding spot up threes from guys that they just want to shoot them. They're like, hey, do we want to concede a drive to their superstar, or do we want to concede a wide open three to you? We'll live with your shot wide open. So just hitting these is obviously valuable, I think. I think he's a pretty smart cutter as well, and he's actually a pretty good athlete without the ball in his hands. So I think his cutting can definitely be weaponized in a half-court setting. So You combine, if the shot works out and he's a legit dynamic three-point shooter, combine that with the cutting, now we got something cooking. An underrated part of his offensive game is his transition attacking ability. So not a dynamic self-creator in the half court really at all, but when he gets in transition, things start moving. Like I said, he's a pretty good athlete. He's pretty fast, pretty good hops, pretty good jumping. Like this guy, I don't know how many dunks he has, but I've seen him dunk a decent amount. And he pulls off some wild dribble moves in transition, like little behind the back type stuff.
These teammates on Mets 92 last year, but his younger brother Nolan Traore is the 2025 draft prospect, and then the guy I'm really excited about, stolen away, Jaquan Lewis to Risacher, bobbles it, goes up with the
It's a screen, and the Cowboys can't nail it off the glass. Here's Risacher all the way to the hoop, and the shot was blocked. Morgan. Again, Davida's got to be careful. Risacher, the no-look pass, the dribble from Popovich, and on the break, again the second.
That factors into the optimism that people like Draft Express have over him. But I've only seen it in transition, but still, it's a little cool ability to have. If you're thinking about the game in phases, it's like, how does he contribute in the half-court phase? Well, orbiting around the perimeter as a shooter, and then cutting in through the gaps and finishing, and then in transition, he can be a ball handler or just run the lane, catch it, and dunk. He could be like a lob threat in those situations. He's a good athlete. When it comes to his passing ability, he's okay.
Disrupting things on defense.
Well, he is out there to start the second half. He gets a screen from Massa, has it on the wing. Nice skip pass to Isaiah Mike for three.
Defensively, I like him. I actually saw someone say a few months ago on Twitter, they're like, I'm drafting Risacher because he's a defensive prospect. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. He is versatile. He can guard guys on the ball, and he can guard guys off the ball. Well, can he guard guys off the ball? I don't know. But he can guard... He's a good team defender. This one, he's right there, and watch when this guy drives over. I think he hits it, right? Does he hit it, or just the guy just lose it? Either way, he comes up with it. This one looks like maybe a little zone type action. I don't know, but he's going to come up and kind of blitz this ball handler, and then he tries to pass out. Quick hands. Ooh. What happens from here? Ooh. Starts this play on the ball. His man passes off. He tries to get a little back cut action going. Risacher's not letting that fly. And then he notices his teammate might be beaten with this post up, so he rotates over, and his teammate does get pump faked in the air. And so when the guy thinks, oh yeah, I got that idiot in the air, I'm going up. No, Risacher is here to save the day. So he gets in front of that shot. So the guy can't go up. He tries to go up anyway. And then, because Risacher is down here, he's able to prevent this guy from getting an offensive rebound. This one, he's the low man down here. And so first what he does is he picks up the roller. So he's standing there so this guy knows, hey, you don't have a wide open path to the basket, buddy. I'm here to mess this up. And so this guy's thinking, oh, yeah, I'm manipulating you, you idiot, you 18-year-old kid. I'm gonna throw it to that guy because you're all the way down here. No way you, and oh, and he's looking over to his other teammate right here. But it was a trick. Oh no, it wasn't. Okay, so he didn't actually, I'm hyping this guy up. He didn't even do that good a job because he went to two hands and has to throw this pass over. Risacher reads that from a mile away. Interception. Pew! And then he's so fast, isn't he? So much of the NBA is playing in rotation, and you got to think Risacher's speed is going to come in handy that way. And so he's going to help over on this drive. Prevents that guy from doing anything. He passes out to the corner. Risacher flies over and contests this shot. So then the guy takes one dribble in. Teammate rotates over. He's like, oh crap, all right, I'm not getting a clean look here. I got to pass out. And then that leads to that. And they miss. Not the craziest thing in the world, but he starts this play picking up this guy all the way back here beyond half court. So he's hounding him on the ball. He's hounding him. Then the guy tries to run around here, gets through the screen, stays with him. Then the roller, he switches onto the roller. Little switchability, little versatility here. And so he's hanging out down there, and he's battling for post position. He doesn't want to give that guy an easy look. And then this guy beats his man and drives in, but Risacher's there. He's right in front of him. You can't get an easy shot. Then this guy gets another chance, attacks him, and Risacher stops him again. That's good stuff. Here's another situation where this roller is going to get free, and so Risacher slides over to prevent him from getting the wide open look. This guy's going to shoot the pass out to the corner. By the time he gets it, Risacher's there. And then he contains him off the closeout. Tough thing to do. Maybe the most valuable part of Risacher's defense is his rim protection. I really like him when he gets in these situations. And so he's not going to get the crazy chase down block on this guy right here, but he misses the layup. His teammate gets the rebound, but Risacher flies in. Get out of here, you idiot. You're not getting that. Let's see what happens on this one. He's the low man right here. Oh, he's sliding over to help with the post up. And then, oh, that guy's wide open again. Is he going to make it? He is going to make it. Let's see. Battling down there. Oh, he's getting through. No, Risacher's there. Okay, we're back to 240p. What's going on here? Battling in the post. This guy. Oh, that's volleyball. That's literally Tsukishima. All right. Let's see. Oh, the roll man is wide open. No way he's going to try this on Risacher. Not when Risacher's there. You idiot. Oh, are we back to the first play? We're back to the first play.
You're drafting this guy, I think highest overall outcome is probably starter. Like, you could see this guy, fully realized you could see this guy as a starter on like a playoff team, maybe even a contending level team, just by virtue of he is playing off the ball, so he doesn't need the ball to make an impact. He orbits around the perimeter, he makes threes, maybe he can draw on defenses with gravity and stuff like that. Capitalize on gaps with the cutting and finishing transition weapon. We covered it. Defensively, a guy who can make a positive impact and hopefully at the worst not make it a negative impact. I don't really ever see him being an all defensive level player or something like that, or somebody like throw him on Luka with any kind of confidence or anything like that. Like, I don't think he'll be a super high-end defensive player, but I think he could be pretty good, pretty decent. And so the lack of shot creation does dent the whole experience. So he is super duper young, so maybe there are big time strides that can be taken in that capacity. I'd be pretty surprised if this guy ended up an all-star or anything like that. And so if we compare this to the Brandon Miller situation from last year, there was a similar kind of disconnect where some more mainstream NBA media outlets were super duper high on Brandon Miller, and then the NBA draft nerds were much lower, and it came down to self-creation. But the difference is, I think Brandon Miller had on-ball skills. Like, Brandon Miller was really a good passer. Like, he could, some live dribble passing ability, could run pick and rolls and stuff. like get people on his back and like decent, like workable handle. Like Risacher doesn't put the ball on the ground too much. Brandon Miller's decent. Like he can be like a secondary, tertiary ball handling wing. The concern with Brandon Miller was always burst wise, and like, is this guy athletic enough to finish? Like in isolation, can he get to the basket and finish? Can he do anything without a ball screen? That was always the concern. And when you stack that up against the overall idea of like Scoot Henderson or Amen Thompson, then you could see how people would be like, well, this is a little lackluster. I'm getting a movement shooter who can run some pick and rolls but can't really pressure the rim. I don't know about that. But Brandon Miller would be consensus number one player in this class, I think, probably. Risacher is not as talented on the ball as Brandon Miller, and he's not as talented off the ball as Brandon Miller as a shooter. And is he better defender? Maybe they're comparable defenders. I don't know. Brandon Miller is a little longer, right? To sum up my thoughts, if I'm the Hawks at number one, I'm not going to take him because even if he hits, I think he's somebody that you can get in free agency or you can get in a different draft or something. I don't think you're necessarily missing out too much on a once-in-a-lifetime experience or something like that. So I wouldn't take him at number one. I would rather gamble on Alex Sarr, even knowing that probably there's a floor where he's not a very good player, but still I'd rather gamble on the potential of Alex Sarr at number one and miss out. And then at number two with the Wizards, I probably again would gamble on somebody else. But outside of that, I think I'm gonna be like, it's not the worst thing in the world. This guy's not a guaranteed bust. He has some positive things that he brings to the table. It's not a nightmare wherever you take him. Even if somebody better goes after, like we look at some perennial all-stars picked at pick 7 or whatever, and they took Risacher at 2, I won't be like, classic Wizards. Well, classic in the sense that why can't you guys just shoot for the stars? But yeah, Risacher is not a bad pick. I think there's a good chance he'll be a good player, a good starter. I hope he is. The lower outcomes of him being a bench piece, I think, are fine. Just the type of guy that every NBA team would like. Like, oh, we need someone who can shoot 36% from 3 and to play solid defense at 6'8", 6'9". That's a valuable rotation piece, I think. So yeah, probably not a max contract guy ever, but I think he could be a good player.